want to call everyone to action. Nuclear weapons are a real threat to our future.
There's no reason to take Armageddon seriously. There's no reason to worry that Joe Biden, who's still president, by the way, is out speaking at the UN telling you why you have to continue to fund a war between Ukraine and Russia, a war that has a complex story behind it and involves, I would say, the betrayal of agreements between the United States and the former Soviet Union, involves malfeasant and Machiavellian behaviour from British politicians, notably Boris Johnson, perhaps because Britain have a long, turgid, difficult history with Russia and appear to enjoy, for some reason, poking the bear, prodding the bear. Well, poking and prodding that bear could have consequences. And if it shits in the woods, it's likely a bear. And if it bombs the hell out of London with 750 kilotons of nuclear power, it could also be a consequence of agitating the bear, aka Russia. Let's have a look at this piece of Russian media in our language, fellow Anglophonics, and assess whether or not the right people are in charge of the set of complex global conflicts that are happening right now, all of which should end before this propaganda, albeit Russian propaganda, becomes a reality.
Upon detonation, a fireball as hot as the sun rapidly expands, reaching a radius of 950 meters.
Can see my house from there.
Anything trapped inside this fireball is instantly vaporized. In our simulation, the epicenter of the explosion is at Westminster.
Well, it's not all bad news then, because that's where we have our government. Sausages! Them sausages are going to get pretty burned, Keir, if you don't start being a bit more helpful when it comes to diplomacy between Ukraine and Russia.
People within that radius won't even feel anything, because the nerve impulse transmission speed is slower.
Some people might watch that and think, given how difficult life is at the moment, it might actually be a relief. With hyperinflation, endless cultural conflict, and the nihilism that's pervading all of our social spaces, maybe Armageddon will be sort of a relief.
Within 5 kilometers of the epicenter, the blast radius. City of London, Camden Town, Kensington.
In Camden Town, I'll meet you by the underground. It's a bomb shelter now. We've got to go down there.
Brixton. These areas will receive the most destruction. Buildings will be destroyed and debris will fill the streets.
Wait a minute, how come that building's collapsing into its own footprint? Controlled demolition, anyone? Yes, it was controlled by the shoddy negotiations of Joe Biden, Boris Johnson, Kamala Harris, and the globalists that benefit from ongoing wars that lead to the destruction of major cities.
Creating extremely dangerous conditions for everyone in the vicinity.
Dangerous conditions? It's been a nuclear attack. Wait a minute, this is dangerous. We shouldn't have done this, you know.
Given the population density in central London, the initial death toll could exceed 250,000 people and around 600,000 injured.
Are they dying from nuclear bombs or with nuclear bombs? It's a very important distinction.
Within a radius of 10 kilometers,
a lot of those people had not been vaccinated. That's how dangerous COVID is. If only they'd been locked down in their houses. Their houses are rubble now. Nevertheless,
the radiation will cause third-degree burns. Within that radius, anything that can burn will catch fire. Gas stations, automobiles, power substations, gas infrastructure. Explosive facilities will explode and amplify the effect of the devastation over a huge area.
That's actually quite near where I was born. That bit, I was born near there. That's I've done gigs in there. That's what used to be called the O2. Bit further down, Grays, Essex. That's old Russ. That's where I'm from, baby. Live at the other end of the river now. It's just a little bit of distance, but a hell of a lot of effort.
Including areas from Camden to Greenwich and Islington to Wandsworth.
So funny, right? Because normally when you hear the names of those boroughs, it's almost always because of some cultural connotation or because of some political matter. Standing as an independent in Islington is former Labour MP destroyed by the CIA and by globalists Jeremy Corbyn. What's happened to Islington now? It's on fire! Doesn't it make you realise how minute, trivial and ridiculous the disputes we have among one another are? The potential that due to the ludicrous brinkmanship of globalist governments hell-bent on destruction, all of our lives are at risk. Even if it weren't just a costly and pointless endeavour, a near-perfect repetition of the senseless wars in Afghanistan, first Russia, then America, Britain as well. Even if it wasn't just that, it's actually worse than that, isn't it? Because, Russia is a nuclear superpower. What about this ontological perspective that we've been invited to take on? That it's all right to provoke someone who's a nuclear superpower. I'm so sympathetic, I'm sure you are as well, to Ukrainian people, and isn't that one of the main reasons why you'd like the war to stop immediately? Is it not feasible that the diplomatic might of NATO, and in particular the United States, might be used to ensure a diplomatic and peaceful solution immediately in this conflict? Is it not likely, possible, inevitable that the Boeing investments and the Raytheon investments and the constant lobbying has some kind of impact on these decisions? Just take the small example of Paul Pelosi's recent visa profits, and you get a glimpse into the mentality of the people that govern. And govern does not mean serve anymore. We know that now. Govern means rules. These are our rulers, and they're not even rulers under God anymore, because they want to unravel your constitution, starting with the First Amendment, but I bet that won't be the end of it. What they want is the kind of control that only gods can dream of. Surely I am a destroyer of worlds, Kamala Harris might say, as the Venn diagrams in her mind foreclose across continents. Annihilation ensured by Oppenheimer's ingenuity and the ineptitude of those that have followed. That is the reality of provoking a nuclear superpower. Indeed, the point of a nuclear arms race was meant to be mutually assured destruction leading to perpetual peace. Well, are you confident right now? Let me know in the comments in the chat that that will be the solution. We can't continue to bring you this beautiful content without the support of our partners. Everybody's talking about weight loss injections because the results are so dramatic, and who doesn't love drama? What if you need to lose weight but you don't like injections? Doctors created a weight loss supplement called Lean, and the results are remarkable. The studied ingredients in Lean are shown to lower blood sugar, that's good, burn fat by converting it into energy, and curb your appetite and cravings so you're not as hungry. Lean is not for the casual dieter with only a few pounds to lose. Doctors at Brickhouse Nutrition created Lean for frustrated dieters with 10 pounds or more to lose. That could be me. I could lose 10 pounds. Get started with 15% off and free rush shipping. Add Lean to your healthy diet and exercise plan. Do you know what that phrase does? I mean, don't be like an idiot and just think you can guzzle Lean and it's all going to be okay. Add it to a healthy exercise plan in order to lose that hard, stubborn to shift 10 pounds. Even though I believe that you are absolutely beautiful as you are, just lose that 10 pounds because you wanted to. Visit takelean.com. Enter brand15 for your discount. That's promo code brand15 at takelean.com. Thank you.
According to various estimates, a further 450,000 people will die from burns, debris injuries, or radiation sickness, and over 1 million will be traumatized.
I was actually quite traumatized by that nuclear attack. Well, I mean, I'm a bit upset because my whole family is powder now.
Many of these injuries could prove fatal over the next days and weeks. Radiation sickness in particular will take lives days and weeks later. In time, about 100,000 more will be added to the death toll.
All right, I get the idea. I mean, it's not very nice. I get it. You little bastards. You should have negotiated. You should have accepted when we said that all we wanted was a return to the borders that we previously had, and for you to stop using Ukraine as a missile base. Now, because of that, Greenwich is all made out of mush, and you won't be able to get any nice little T-shirts from a stall on Camden Bridge, because everything's all liquid now.
Within an 18-kilometer radius of the blast, the shockwave will be enough to shatter windows, causing additional casualties to people who come to the windows when they see the nuclear blast. The shockwave will reach Hounslow, Edgware,
Hounslow. So, again, not all bad news.
And Enfield. Depending on the wind, the fallout could spread well beyond the immediate blast zone, potentially affecting areas up to 5 to 10 kilometers away, causing damage even in regions such as Essex or Surrey.
No! that. I'm from that. Now, you've started something, Mr. Putin. Firstly, we didn't get a single penny from that tenet thing that everyone seemed to be earning a fortune out of, and now you blow up the land of my birth. Putin, I thought we could have had a deal. You said we could have had a deal, and now you've ruined it. It's not the Raynham Marshes, not Lakeside, not the Ford factory in Dagenham, not Gray's School, my alma mater, where at the state's expense, to the punishment of the taxpayer, I was educated to the very standard that you see before you right now. Damn you, Putin! We thought we could trust you! What an amazing bit of propaganda. It's actually good propaganda because listing all them little places, it works, doesn't it? You like go, oh, I've actually been there. I went there. Clacton on Thames. You wouldn't want a caravan there now, not after it's been blown up like that.
The estimated casualties in the event of a 750 kiloton nuclear bomb exploding in London would be about 850,000 people dead and about 2 million injured. If the explosion were to occur on the ground rather than in the air, the fallout map would be greatly expanded, and the radioactive fallout could even reach Manchester, infecting people, land, and animals. The problem with a nuclear explosion in London is also that London is essentially not designed to survive such a disaster.
Now, you did design this, didn't you, Sir Christopher Wren, to withstand apocalyptic weaponry that may be invented in several centuries' time. Sir, I shall strike you down if you question my St. Paul's Dome a further time. Yes, of course, cities aren't designed to withstand nuclear weapons. I suppose what is the subtext there that Russian cities like Moscow and St. Petersburg, are they built to withstand, nuclear wars and that? I suppose they are. We like it when there's nuclear wars. We've lived like this for ages. It's fun for us. We're always cold. What do we care if you bomb us? It'll warm us up. We'll cook sausages over the fires that start. Did somebody say sausages? No, we were actually talking about hostages. Huh. Easy mistake to make.
11 of London's 20 major hospitals would be within the blast. The remaining hospitals would be physically unable to cope with the number of victims. Many people are still alive under the rubble of the buildings, suffering burns, but no one will be able to help them. Since the creation of nuclear weapons less than 100 years ago, there have been more than 20 incidents where a nuclear-armed country was one step away from a nuclear catastrophe. You can easily find these statistics on Wikipedia. I will attach a link to this article in the description of the video.
Amazing. After all that, there will be a link in the description. Bro, do remember to like and subscribe as we inventory your imminent destruction in minute detail, down to mentioning zip codes and postcodes of individual boroughs and the way that your pets will be affected if they haven't been eaten already. Right, kids? Did somebody say sausages? No, kid, we're still talking about hostages.
I want to call everyone to action. Nuclear weapons are a real threat to our future. Give this video a like and share it so that as many people as possible can learn about its consequences.
That is one of the best pieces of Russian propaganda I've ever seen. No wonder Russia Today is banned on YouTube, but still available on Rumble. Fantastic propaganda. The Russians, they can be a pretty serious people, but they know how to do propaganda. And there are a few reminders in there, let's face it, that maybe a nuclear catastrophe isn't the best possible outcome for this regional conflict between Ukrainians and Russians that could be solved by diplomacy. And indeed, there was a peace treaty on the table before the intervention of Western powers that are likely controlled by the military-industrial complex. But what do I know? Maybe we should just sit back and let our world be destroyed by greedy psychopaths. That's just what I think, though. Let me know what you think in the comments in the chat. Remember, if you're watching this on YouTube, turn on the notification bell. That's the only way that we'll be able to ensure that you see our content. And if you're watching this on Rumble right now, which is our home, which we love, ensure that you subscribe and that you comment and you get involved. Consider becoming an Awake and Wonder, like Affection and True Seer, and all our friends can get many, many opportunities, including the chance to come see me with Tucker Carlson this Friday in Fort Lauderdale. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.